With haste, Hastings tore the envelope. Daily Flicker, July 30, 1935. ABC affair, no progress. The alphabet murderer is still on the run. Ever since the police found the connection between the Bexhill and Andover affairs, the inquiry has barely progressed. In this issue, we are publishing provocative letters sent by the killer to Hercule Poirot. Unfortunately, they have not yet helped to find him. Daily Flicker, July the 26th, 1935. The Bexhill Horror. Young maid strangled on the beach. Killer struck at midnight. Hello, chap. We received a new letter from ABC in the 10 o'clock post.
Where and when?
In Churston. Today.
Today? I'll inform the population immediately.
I'll check the train times. Call me back. Hastings, what you are doing is an absolute disaster. That is no way to pack suitcases.
Heavens, we must hurry! We have to get to Churston before the murder!
Hastings' order and method are always necessary, regardless of the circumstances.
Okay. I'll let you pack them.
All the same, it really is a disgrace to leave your belongings in such a mess. Voila! It only took a minute.
Poirot, you were right. I've just consulted the ABC guide. There's no hurry. The next train doesn't leave till 11:45.
You see, there is no need to hurry. We will not be in Churston until tomorrow morning, after the murder.
But why has the murderer warned us so late? It's not what he usually does. Did he do it on purpose?
Very good question, Hastings. We should also compare the letter we have just received with the other two, although I have very little doubt about what we will find. Hastings' photo album. He is very proud of his bag. We've missed the 6:45 train, but we have plenty of time to catch the night train. Right, let us compare this new letter with the second one. Let us examine this more closely. Certain characters in the two letters may have similar defects. Yes, this I is weird. The W is not printed properly. Yes, the A appears to be quite unusual. Right, let us compare this with the other letter. Yes, this I is weird. However, the characters in the two words do not match. That's right. The A characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory. The W is not printed properly. Right. Let us compare this with the other letter. Of course, the W characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory. Yes, this I is weird. Right. Let us compare this with the other letter. Yes, the I characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. My theory was right. These two letters were written with the same typewriter. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. The letter should have arrived in time. The postmark shows that it was sent 3 days ago. However, our man made a mistake in the address, which explains the delay. All the same, the post office took their time correcting the error.
Come on, Poirot. Your address is not quite as well known as that of Scotland Yard. Poirot, the telephone. It must be Jap.
I have some news from Churston. Bad news, I'm afraid. Sir Carmichael Clark was murdered while out on his evening walk.
Sir Carmichael Clark. The name is familiar to me.
He was a famous throat specialist, one of the best in London. A wealthy man, he retired to Combside, a beautiful house by the sea. He collected antiques.
Are you going there?
Yes, let's meet on the train. The victim is called Sir Carmichael Clark, one of the best throat specialists in London. The body was still warm when we found it. If we'd been warned earlier, we definitely could have saved him.
It appears that the murderer made a mistake when he wrote his letter.
A mistake? Lucky for him.
And what if he did it on purpose?
No. He's defined his madcap rules and he's sticking to them. It's a matter of pride for him. Shall we go up to the house, Poirot?
You go, my friend. I will come soon. Sir Carmichael's throat was cut. It's a clean incision, a professional murder. The gravel on the path has been sprayed with blood that covers a conical-shaped area, which starts at the bottom. An ABC guide, the murderer's customary signature, covered in blood this time. Apart from the wound to the throat, the body is untouched. No cuts, no bruises. Jap has emptied the victim's pockets and has laid out their contents on this piece of wax cloth. Nothing appears to be missing from this wallet. A signet ring, very probably with the Clark family's coat of arms. It is pointless. An oriental dragon. It's an old piece, much older than the pocket watch on which it was fastened. This place is very calming. The site is exceptional. It is easy to imagine that Sir Carmichael used to enjoy stopping here every evening. The body is just in front of a bush, one of the only bushes in the surrounding area. The vegetation behind the bush has been trampled. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. Sir Carmichael had his back to the bush when the killer cut the throat from behind. A fatal blow that sprayed blood. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Have you finished, Poirot?
Chief Inspector, many questions remain unanswered, but I am certain of one thing. The killer has prepared his crime very carefully.
Quite right. He must have known Sir Carmichael's movements well to plan such an attack.
The murderer struck with terrible savagery.
Yes, blood flowed. It's the first time he's attacked a man. He armed himself accordingly.
Have you spoken to the victim's family, Chief Inspector?
I've spoken to the brother, Franklin Clark. I didn't get much out of him. He's yours. I must get the body removed.
To be honest, this inspector seems rather obtuse. I'm counting on your friend Poirot to catch my brother's murderer. Ah, here he is now. Please, Mr. Poirot. Mr. Poirot, this is my brother's secretary, Miss Thora Gray.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Poirot. Would you like some tea?
No, thank you, mademoiselle. I find it hard to digest. There is something very viril about him. Franklin Clark is an adventurer, the sort of man that women like. There is something elegant about her. She has good taste, except perhaps in her choice of jewelry.
Please excuse me, I have to take care of Lady Clark.
My brother's wife is gravely ill. You will probably want to question her, but I fear that it won't be possible today.
Of course, I understand. Someone set a trap for your brother. Who was familiar with his habits?
Everybody knew he took his evening walk at 8:30, and that he always followed the same path.
Everybody, including Miss Grey?
What are you insinuating? Thor would never. I mean, Miss Grey is above all suspicion. You're quite wrong, I'm absolutely certain.
What were you doing last night?
After dinner, I went to my bedroom. At 11 in the evening, the telephone rang. It was the police. I went to look for my brother.
Was it your favorite novel?
The Railway Children by Edith Nesbit. I know it's a children's book, but it's enthralling.
So it was you who found the body?
Yes, along with the gardener.
Have you seen any strangers around the house recently?
No. As far as I know, nobody has been near the house.
Miss Clark.
Oh, Lady Clark must have fallen from her chair. I have to help Miss Grey get her up.
Hastings, while our host is gone, let's examine the drawing room.
But, Poirot, a gentleman shouldn't...
I take full responsibility. All you have to do is to leave the drawing room door ajar and let me know if anyone is coming. Dragon. Sir Carmichael showed himself to be very consistent in his collection's theme. It is an emperor. His place at the center of the table is probably symbolic. Comside's private collection, purchases since 1920. The catalogue for Sir Carmichael Clark's collection. A turtle. A tiger. A crane? A dragon. The interior is richly decorated. Dragon. Sir Carmichael showed himself to be very consistent in his collection's theme. It's locked. turtle, the dragon, the crane and the tiger. I think I've already seen this motif somewhere. The position of each motif is correct, but they are not turned the same way as on the table. I think I heard a bang. Could it be this cupboard? This is interesting. These daggers are only ceremonial weapons. I do not think that the crime weapon is here. Ernest Logan, MD, Brighton Cancer Institute, 201 Dusk Road, Brighton, Sussex. To Sir Carmichael Clark, MD, Comsite, Churston, Devon. Brighton, 1935, January the 5th. As a man of science, I owe it to you to be completely frank. Lady Clark, your wife is suffering from a generalized terminal cancer. I confess I didn't suspect anything like that during the first exams. But with the test results I have received today, there is unfortunately no place for doubt. I estimate that Lady Clark's life expectancy is no more than 1 year. Hospitalization would not help in her case, so I advise you to keep her at home and provide her with as much morphine as required to ease her last moments. Yours sincerely, Ernest Logan.
Here's Miss Gray.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Lady Clark's condition requires regular care. I believe you want to ask me a few questions.
Indeed, mademoiselle. This porcelain is remarkable. Is it old?
It's about 3 centuries old, I believe. Wait, let me find the reference.
She appears to be very flustered. She is unable to hide her emotion, and her makeup has been disturbed. I think that this young woman has just been kissed.
Here? Teapot with black dragon, Gangxi period, end of the 17th century. It is a rare piece with unusual colours.
You have a good knowledge of art history.
Acquired while working with Sir Carmichael. I used to help him manage his collection and choose his new acquisitions.
And sometimes, he used to give you a piece as a gift. Is that right?
Gift? What do you mean?
I am referring to your brooch.
This old brooch?
Mademoiselle, you know perfectly well. I am talking about the magnificent brooch you were wearing earlier.
Yes, you're right. Sir Carmichael did give it to me. He valued my work. How could I refuse? He would have been offended.
You took it off because of Lady Clark, am I right?
Indeed. Lady Clark does not like this jewel. Why upset someone who is so gravely ill?
I see. Maybe Lady Clark is a little jealous.
Mr. Poirot, do not be mistaken. There was nothing going on between Sir Carmichael Clark and myself. It's just... how should I say? Well, Lady Clark is very suspicious. Insanely suspicious. Wearing this old brooch in front of her would have caused her unnecessary suffering. Don't you think?
I am not blaming you, mademoiselle. Have you seen any strangers hanging around in the past few days?
No. Nobody has been near Cumside.
Tell me what happened last night.
After dinner? Well, I did some sewing and then I went to bed. I was woken by the telephone at 11. I heard Franklin Clark speaking with the gardener. They left with some lanterns and they found the body.
Am I right thinking that something is going on between you and Franklin?
How dare you ask me such a question?
Mademoiselle, it is difficult to hide things from me. He kissed you earlier, did he not?
My goodness, with Sir Carmichael's death, I was feeling so awful, so worried. I was unable to resist.
I am not judging you, mademoiselle.
Miss Grey, if I may be so bold, please do not take offence. My friend has rather unusual methods, but all he wants is to find the murderer.
Yes, I understand. I must rest. Please excuse me.
Earlier, you asked me to watch the living room door for you. I don't wish to be indiscreet, but sometimes a gentleman stumbles upon a secret without intending to.
That is sometimes the case.
And I saw Franklin Clark kissing Miss Grey at the foot of the stairs.
Do you think this is a common occurrence?
No, I saw emotion, intensity. I think it was their first kiss.
Well done, mon ami. Well spotted.
However, I don't think I completely understand this business. Why did Sir Carmichael not defend himself? He appeared to have been active and strong.
The murderer did not give him a chance. Let us try and reconstruct the scene. Sir Clark is taking his customary walk. Our killer is hiding behind a bush. The old man walks quietly along the gravel path. Then he turns towards the sea to gaze at it. The killer leaves his hiding place on the right-hand side. He approaches silently over the grass. Then he throws himself on his prey and cuts the poor man's throat. He then lays down the ABC before leaving. Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Oh, just a minute. I'm getting dressed.
Mr. Kirst, have you recently returned from Churston?
Yes, indeed I have.
Have you seen the papers? And to think that you might have rubbed shoulders with the killer. Imagine that. Mr. Kirst, are you all right? You don't seem well.
My apologies. My throat is burning and my head feels heavy. It's ever since the war, you know. Since my injury, my head has never been the same.
Poirot, it's a pleasure to be with you again after all these years. I looked for a gift to thank you, and I found this propelling pencil.
An authentic collector's item. You spoil me, mon ami.
And you more so by sharing investigations.
Do not underestimate the help you are to me, Hastings. Intellect is not everything. There is also goodwill, and you are not short of that. Later, I will ask you to help me tidy up the room and bring some chairs. Our guest will be here soon.
Ah, is Thora Grey coming?
Naturally. She is a fascinating young woman, n'est-ce pas?
Oh, come on, Poirot. I'm a married man. Miss Grey has already been courted by Franklin Clark. Poirot, our guests will be here soon. We must prepare ourselves.
I should take advantage of the silence to examine them. Sometimes I love a brunette, sometimes I love a blonde. That's what the song says. The song says, sometimes I love a blonde who comes from Eden by way of Sweden. But I am not sure that this blonde is an angel. Franklin Clark always seems at ease, regardless of where he is. Something that's unique to people who travel. I ought to concentrate on my guests. Donald is always on edge. Donald Fraser is very nervous at the moment, even if he is trying hard to control himself. She appears to have taken more care with her appearance than the last time. She's looking at Mr. Fraser out of the corner of her eye. Did she make herself beautiful for him? I wish to thank you all for coming. I wanted to bring everyone close to the victims here in order to unmask the murderer.
Get to the point, Mr. Poirot. What do you want from us?
You are an intelligent woman, Mademoiselle Barnard, and I'm sure that you have already understood my intentions.
You think that if we put our heads together, we might come up with something new?
I am convinced of it. What I ask is that you search your memories. The murderer must have left some trace.
Yes, he must have prepared his crimes very carefully.
Tout à fait. He did not get to Bexhill at midnight in order to strangle a young girl whose name by chance starts with P.
Must we go into that?
Mr. Fraser, please get a grip on yourself.
Well, I want to help you, but I don't remember anything else. Nothing I haven't already said.
And you, Mademoiselle Barnard, did your sister say she was seeing another man?
She never would have told me.
Why would she hide the fact from you?
Betty knew I didn't approve of her behaviour. Her flirting was spoiling any chance she might have had.
Tell me, mademoiselle, what did you talk about with your sister?
Silly things. Her new dress. She wanted a pair of black stockings to go with it. Mother bought her a brand new pair. The day it happened, she was crying. And to think that Betty never even wore them. Poor Mummy.
Your sister used to sing, I believe. Did she ever perform in public?
She dreamt about it, but she had a very bad cough. It troubled her greatly. She had to cancel auditions and miss lots of opportunities. A pity.
Yes, she sang well, but that doesn't tell us much about the murderer.
Qui sait? In any case, we now have enough information to draw up a relatively precise psychological profile. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can now surmise without too much risk of error that our adversary is calculative, sure of himself, a seducer, of outstanding intelligence, that he has plenty of self-control, and that he likes railways. It's a good start. Other meetings may be necessary. I hope that you will be able to come back again.
Well, it's just that...
Is something bothering you, Mary?
Well, Mr. Poirot, you see, I don't know if I can come to London just like that.
It's normal that people helping with this inquiry should be reimbursed. Starting with you, Miss Drower. Please allow me to pay for your train tickets.
Oh, sir, I cannot accept.
But you must. Mademoiselle, I may not be rich, but my brother left a fortune which will be mine.
Mr. Clark, that's very generous of you.
Well, someone has to foot the bill. Mr. Poirot, would it be possible for you to come back to Devon? Lady Clark has expressed a wish to see you. We'll adjust her medicine so she'll not be too drowsy.
But of course, I shall come the day after tomorrow if it is convenient. Thank you all for coming. We will meet again soon. The meeting was most fruitful.
Really?
Hastings, I believe now we have everything we need to find a common point between the victims. Now it is time for us to use our grey matter. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. first two victims suffered from bad throat, and that was precisely the specialty of the third victim, Dr. Clark.
We have a lead.
It would pay to take a closer look at the medical records of Dr. Clark's patients.
We'll do so during our next visit to Churston.
I will do it myself, mon ami. You must remain in London just in case ABC sends us another letter.
Very well, as you wish. Thank you for coming, Mr. Poirot. Lady Clark is waiting for you in her bedroom on the first floor. Please excuse me, I cannot stay for the interview. I've to take Miss Gray to the station to see our lawyer in Torquay.
Are you leaving Churston for good?
Miss Gray very kindly stayed with me to settle my brother's affairs, but naturally she prefers to find a position in London.
Ah, très bien.
I'll be absent all morning, Mr. Poirot, but the nurse is coming soon. She's to ensure that the dose of medicine doesn't make our patient drowsy.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Have a nice trip, mademoiselle. This poor woman is very ill. This woman is suffering. She is in no state to have a conversation. It would be rude to make Lady Clark wait any longer.
Mr. Poirot?
My respects, madame.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Have you seen the nurse? She should have been here by now. Oh, I'm sorry.
The telephone in the hall is ringing. The Clark residence. Detective Hercule Poirot speaking.
How do you do, Mr. Poirot? I'm Lady Clark's nurse. I wanted to let you know that I won't be able to come for her injection today. Might Miss Gray be able to do it?
She has just left, but I will take care of it.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. You'll find the skeleton key to open the medicine cabinet hidden in the lion trophy.
You can count on me. Au revoir, mademoiselle.
Oh, thank you kindly. Goodbye, Mr. Poirot.
Here is the skeleton key. April 1925, Aceh Province, Sumatra.
Ah, Mr. Poirot. Ah, I feel better now. Thank you for your help.
You asked for me, chère madame?
Yes, yes, of course, I wish to speak with you. But what was it about?
No doubt. You wish to talk to me about what happened to your husband?
Ah, yes. Oh, poor Carmichael. Has the madman who killed him been caught?
Not yet, chère madame. There was a great many people in Churston on the day of the murder.
Indeed. People go straight to the beach. They don't come near Coomside.
So, there were no strangers around the house that day?
Who said that?
The people who live here. Your brother-in-law, Miss Grey.
Miss Grey? Oh, I don't like her. Franklin wanted her to stay, but I insisted she should go, immediately.
You are entitled to do so, naturally.
I'm pleased that you approve. The others have been taken in by her. But at least you can see through that self-pity act. See what she's up to. Oh.
This subject would probably be useful to me. This subject would probably be useful to me. This couple appears to be having fun. Lady Clark and Sir Carmichael were very happy, but they did not have any children. This subject would probably be useful to me. Lady Clark and Sir Carmichael were very happy, but they did not have any children. I've finished with this subject. This spring appears to be broken. I hope that Hastings will not be cross with me.
Oh, what are we talking about? Ah, yes, Thora Grey. Oh, Carmichael had great esteem for her, but for me she was nothing but a hypocrite.
Miss Grey was a hard worker, though.
Thank goodness. Fortunately, she was good at her job. I don't see why you all think you should have to defend that girl.
You are very harsh. Do not forget that the girl is an orphan.
Yes, and she used the fact to get around men. Take Franklin. He's fallen for her sweet-talking charms. Oh, he's a lovely boy, very plucky and sure of himself. But so naive, oh, when it comes to women.
Miss Grey did look after you very well, though.
Outwardly. But she's hiding something. I think she tried to poison me.
Miss Grey? A poisoner? But everybody appears to like her.
It proves she knows what she's doing. She's manipulative and she's a liar.
A liar?
Let's see, didn't she say that on the day of the crime nobody was around Coomside?
That is correct.
Well, at 11 o'clock I saw her talking to someone.
Really? And what was this man like?
An ordinary sort of man with a very plain face. Oh, I don't remember well.
Was he a gentleman?
No, he was not a gentleman.
It would be best to leave her to sleep now. The telephone in the hall is ringing. Hello?
Poirot, is that you? Hastings here.
Thank you for calling. Have you received a new letter from the murderer?
No, thank goodness. How are things in Churston?
I questioned Lady Clark, but I will not leave until I have examined everything of interest to me here. Fortunately, Franklin is absent, and I have a skeleton key.
Have you seen Thora Grey again?
Briefly. But rest assured, I intend to summon her to London soon.
She's a fascinating girl.
But secretive. I would like to ask her a few questions.
Poirot, she wouldn't hurt a fly.
Each to his own, my friend. Yours are pretty orphans, mine old ladies that have the maladies.
Poirot, are you mocking me?
No ill intended, rest assured. À bientôt, mon ami. How am I going to open this trunk? Let us examine it. Leaving the code on the trunk. What a strange character Franklin is. So, what is this sound? I should be able to open the trunk now. There we are. Why has Franklin put an Allen key inside his trunk? I'll borrow it for a minute. An Allen key. It can be used in 5 positions. An Allen key, it can... Another screw. This engraving is not very easy to understand. I need to sort it out. Franklin must really love his country to have an engraving in his trunk. I think I heard the panel above release. A signet ring? A signet ring with a code written on it. 1587. It may be useful to me. Miss Thoroughgrey, Comside, Churston, Devon. Arsenic trioxide thallium. The Black Dragon's Curse. To Franklin, who will never grow up. January 25, 1928. Car Charlotte. A Chinese symbol is engraved on this metal disc. The position of this character looks right to me. The position of this character looks right to me. Like this character appears to be the right way round. The position of this character looks right to me. Very good. All the circles are facing the right way. What are they showing me? Well, well. The characters engraved on this padlock resemble those engraved on the metal discs. At last, the cupboard is open. Genteel and wild, English countryside revisited. The Railway Children, E. Nesbit. For Franklin, Und Effie's Christmas, 1910. Traveling in China, a practical guide for English travelers. Helmet, flask, and rifles. Franklin is very well equipped. Franklin appears to be very active. Franklin Clark appears to be a typical British gentleman, a good sportsman, a hunter, a traveler. February 1922, South Africa. July 1920, Alaska Peninsula. The plates around the picture appear to have unlocked. I think I've already seen these symbols on Franklin's trophies. The Lion of Sumatra. The Alaskan Kodiak bear. African kudu. I heard the sound of a mechanism. Strange way of protecting one's safe. Triangulating one's hunting sites on a map. A signet ring bearing the Clark's family's coat of arms. A number is written on it. These documents are very likely going to help me for the rest of the inquiry. A dozen gold sovereigns. Some shares for the Southern Railway and some treasury bills. This is not worth much, hardly enough to justify your robbery. A dozen gold... A dozen... Eton College School year, 1912-1913. Franklin Clark. School report for Franklin Clark. According to his teachers, Franklin was a good student. Sir Carmichael Clark, Campsite, Churston, Devon, to Mr. Franklin Clark, Peninsula Hotel, Salisbury Road, Tsinchasui, Kowloon, Hong Kong. Campsite, 1935, January the 12th. Dear Franklin, first, I wish you a good start to a successful new year. Things go on here much as usual. Charlotte is moderately free from pain. I wish one could say more. You may remember Thora Gray. She is a dear girl and a greater comfort to me that I can tell you. I should not have known what to do through this bad time but for her. She has an exquisite taste and shares my passion for Chinese art. No daughter could be a closer or more sympathetic companion. Life has been difficult, but I am glad to feel that here she has a home and true affection. You wrote me you want to stay in China for 1 more year or even longer. I don't object. The longer you stay, the more opportunities you will have to increase our collection. Nonetheless, you should know that we miss you here, and that Charlotte will be gone by the time you come back. I am, dear Franklin, your truly affectionate brother. Charlotte Clark, Campsite, Churston, Devon, to Mr. Franklin Clark, Peninsula Hotel, Salisbury Road, Tsinchasui, Kowloon, Hong Kong, Campsite, 1935, January 1st. I wish you with all my heart a happy year 1935. Writing my greeting cards, I have affectionate thoughts for you. Always smiling as a child, sailing to distant countries and bringing back to us trunks full of wonder. At home, everything annoys me, starting with this young Thora Sir Carmichael is so fond of. I have nobody to share my feelings with, so I write to you. How can I tell you what happens to me? The simplest way the better. I am doomed. I still have 1 year to live, no more. How do I know? I opened the secret drawer of Carmichael and read a letter not addressed to me. In this letter, Dr. Logan tells my husband in the most direct way the truth he conceals from me. Sir, I know, but my husband doesn't know I know. Please don't tell him. And if he shares the truth with you, act as you are surprised. Carr will probably speak in his usual convoluted way, but I wanted to be the first to announce it to you. It does matter to me that you are aware of what happens in Campside. Warm regards, Charlotte. traditional Chinese map. Facsimile. South is on the top of the map. Compass point to the south. Bronze and magnetite, Han Dynasty, circa 210 BC, purchased in Hong Kong 1935. A dark dragon for a bright-haired maid. C. I've already seen similar daggers. Attention, Franklin. Task list. A. Ordering Lady Clark remedies. E. Update land rent accounting. Done. F. Ordering a restock of arsenic. Done. P.S. I have left on the living room table some of my things I don't want to keep. The locket and the dagger. I am sure you know why. Thora. I see some papers that were not there the first time I visited. These daggers are only ceremonial weapons. I do not think that the crime weapon is here. Valuers report... Court and Brunskill. The name is familiar. Is that not the name of the firm Donald Fraser works for? Ernest Logan, MD, Brighton Cancer Institute, 201 Dusk Road, Brighton, Sussex. To Sir Carmichael Clark, MD, Comsite Churston, Devon. Brighton, 1935, January the 5th. As a man of science, I owe it to you to be completely frank. Lady Clark, your wife is suffering from a generalized terminal cancer. I confess I didn't suspect anything like that during the first exams. But with the test results I have received today, there is unfortunately no place for doubt. I estimate that Lady Clark's life expectancy is no more than 1 year. Hospitalization would not help in her case, so I advise you to keep her at home and provide her with as much morphine as required to ease her last moments. Yours sincerely, Ernest Logan. The door is locked. This unit contains the medical records for Sir Carmichael Clark's patients. Let us study them closely and see if there are any familiar names. No dust on the records from A to D. No known name. Lots of dust. The records from E to Z have not been touched for years. No known names. Disappointing. Where is the horrible smell of carrion coming from? Brown pellets. Revolting. Brown pellets. Revolting. Tut-tut. The gardener does not follow the alignment. There, that's better. It is symmetrical. There, that's better. It is symmetrical. It was probably the gardener who lit this fire. Look here. I wonder if someone wanted to get rid of these papers. This object would probably be useful to me. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. Everything that Thorgray has left behind comes from Sir Carmichael's collection. He most probably gave them to her, but she chose to leave them here rather than run the risk of being accused of theft. It is understandable when you know just how much Lady Clark mistrusted her. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. Thorgray had no reason to kill someone who only had few months left to live. The poison she ordered was for rats. The gardener must have made good use of it, considering the stinking remains on the path not far from the property. I've finished here. I must put the skeleton key back and inform Hastings that I'm returning to London. May you have peace, Carmichael. Charlotte. April 1920. Perfect. Nothing else is keeping me here. Hello, Hastings. I have finished in Churston. I will take the first train. Tell me, do you know how to restore writing on a burnt document?
Yes, you just have to soak a cloth with a hydrochloric acid solution and rub the sheet of paper. Then the characters appear.
Bien. You have been of great assistance, Hastings. Could you please order the solution as soon as possible?
Of course, but what documents do you want to read?
You will see, my friend. À ce soir.
Donald Fraser is here. He insisted on waiting to see you.
This man is tired. Donald is short of sleep, and it looks as if he didn't even bother to undress before going to bed.
Mr. Poirot, I don't know why I'm here.
You wanted to talk, and you came to find the only man capable of hearing you.
Mr. Poirot, since Betty's death, I've doubts about myself. I don't know what to do. And I keep having a horrible dream 3 nights in a row.
Have a drink, and tell me about this dream.
It's always the same. I'm on the beach with Betty. I grab her round the throat, and I squeeze, and squeeze until she's dead. Her head falls back, and I see that it's no longer Betty. It's Megan's face.
Have you seen Megan Barnard recently?
Yes, our grief has brought us together. I never really knew her before. She's really quite a remarkable girl. But I would never tell her about my dream.
Why not? Is it her you are attacking in your dream?
No, it's Betty. And once Betty is dead, it's Megan's face that appears in its place.
Very interesting. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. Mr. Fraser, I think that the real meaning of this dream is that you are in love with Megan Barnard.
Please go on. Do.
This dream certainly betrays your guilt.
Oh.
But what do you feel guilty about? Having killed your fiancé? Possible. Or forgetting her very quickly for her sister? Certainly. And this forgetting is perceived as a second death.
So you don't really think I was the one who killed Betty?
I do not exclude this theory. I am simply saying that I do not need to know that fact to explain your dream and your guilt.
Thank you for being frank, Mr. Poirot. You've helped me a great deal. I'm going back to Bexhill. I'll not take any more of your time up.
It is late, Mr. Fraser, and you are tired.
I'll sleep on the train. I like trains. It's easy to sleep rocked by the sound of the wheels.
Poor boy, he seems completely lost.
Well, women seem to like him. I think Megan will take care of him. Oh, I remember. Did you order the product I needed?
Yes, we'll be receiving it tomorrow.
Bien, it is late, and I asked Miss Gray to come tomorrow morning. I have a few questions I wish to ask her. Mademoiselle, I asked you here in order to answer a very important question. Am I right in thinking you said that you did not speak to anyone on the day Sir Carmichael was murdered?
It's the absolute truth.
Yet, Lady Clark maintained that she saw you talking to a stranger on the front doorstep.
Really? She must have been mistaken. Oh, I remember now. I'd forgotten all about it, but it wasn't important. It was just a salesman. One of those traders who sell stockings from door to door.
Can you describe him to me?
Medium size, glasses, dark suit, and a felt hat. Not the sort of man you notice. Completely harmless. That's why I forgot all about him.
Nothing else?
He was very hesitant and shy. Usually door-to-door salesmen are very confident, but he wasn't.
You did not leave Churston willingly, I believe.
I don't wish to lie. Lady Clark did not appreciate my presence. And Franklin could not go against the wishes of a sick lady. He is a good man, and he worries a great deal about his sister-in-law.
I noticed that you left some personal belongings behind at Churston. It was too risky for you to keep these objects, am I correct?
Risky? What was the risk?
You know very well what Lady Clark might have said if you had kept these objects.
Indeed. These objects were gifts. But Lady Clark would have been convinced that I'd stolen them. By returning them, I put an end to such evil gossip.
Bien. I must ask you one last question. Please reply frankly with either yes or no. If Lady Clark had died, would you have agreed to marry Sir Carmichael if he'd asked you?
How dare you ask such a question? Sir Carmichael treated me just like his daughter. And all that I ever felt him was affection and gratitude, nothing else.
Thank you, mademoiselle. I will not keep you any longer.
I met Thora Grey on the stairs. Her cheeks were ablaze, and she appeared to be deeply hurt. Poirot, have you offended the poor girl again? Do you have good reasons for accusing her?
I accused her of nothing, Hastings. I simply asked her an important question she did not answer. Let us see if we can answer it for her. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. You must know how to read between the lines, Hastings. When Sir Carmichael refers to paternal affection, he is lying to himself. Read this engraving on the brooch. A dark dragon for an angel with glossy hair. These are the words of a lover, not a father. Lady Clark was not wrong.
What if Sir Carmichael had fallen in love with his secretary? That doesn't mean that she forced him to do so.
True, there are extenuating circumstances. She is a penniless orphan. But she is calculating. Just look how she avoided it when asked if she would have married Clark.
I see. You think she seduced Sir Carmichael for her own gain, and that now she is doing the same with his brother. Poirot, your world is a very dark place.
Do not get carried away, mon ami. We have another more important matter to settle.
Really?
Yes, would you believe that Miss Grey taught me something new? Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. It's perfectly clear, Hastings, perfectly clear. Indeed, a stocking seller visited Andover, Bexhill and Churston on the day of each murder. We have our suspect. This should be of interest, Job. Chief Inspector, we are looking for a stocking salesman.
I see you have a suspect.
Yes. Contact all the stocking wholesalers who may employ him.
Your suspect is a salesman?
No, he does not take orders. He sells door to door.
Right. The hunt is on.
Are you leaving, Mr. Cust?
Yes, I'm going to Cheltenham.
You shouldn't travel today. You don't look very well.
I have to. I have engagements. I must respect them.
Can you get the post, Hastings?
And why don't you go and get it yourself?
Très bien. What's going on? I've never known Hastings to be so disagreeable.